participating in the Q&A. Welcome Mr. Michael Pena, first and foremost.
You got the line, dude.
Michael is going to have to leave at 2 o'clock, so we want to try to get as many questions in.
But that's like half an hour, so we're good, right?
Yeah, so we still got time and everything. So, Michael, if you just want to kind of kick this off and talk a little bit about how this project came about, and we'll kind of roll right into it as everybody else comes in.
Sounds good. Well, basically, Diego Luna, I think he's drunk right now. No big deal. It's South by Southwest, so I think it's fitting. He, like I got an email from everyone saying, like, from my, we'd like to see you for CESAR Chavez, and I thought that it was for the boxer. And I was like, well, you need to get a Mexican dude to do it. And then I met him. He was a civil rights activist in South by Southwest. A year before that, I think it was for Observer Report. I said it would be great to play CESAR Chavez's Dream Movie. And then he made me audition. It was cool.
He made you
3
audition?
auditions later, I was yeah. And then I was
wired for Mike.
lucky enough to be CESAR Chavez.
Dolores,
Gracias.
nos sentamos aquí.
We also want to at this time welcome Dolores Huerta and Pablo Cruz, producers for the film, Diego Luna, and the very lovely Rosario Dawson. Okay, so Michael, go ahead and continue with what you were saying.
Sorry, I got the part.
We were just talking about how this project came about, how everything came together, and Diego, do you want to kick this off and tell everybody how it came to fruition?
Hi, this one's.
Oh, they're just recording the sound. They're not actually.
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
You're not in the band anymore, man.
Thank you for being here. This is even though we knew that it would have been great for us to work with Michael. I just have to say why he did auditions. I believe this community hasn't had many opportunities to be represented. So I thought about all of those who are probably out there and they never had a chance to do a film or to break into theater even. So we did an open call and we sent an email to every theater company, every radio station, that if you thought you could play CESAR Chavez, you should send a tape. And we saw hundreds of them. And it was exciting to see the reaction of a community suddenly wanting to participate. I got so many phone calls and emails of friends and people I've met in the road that suddenly said, I want to be auditioned, please give me a chance. And I want to be part of that project. And it's quite unique that before you even do a film, you already find out it's so important for so many. And this keeps happening and happening till the point that last night I saw, when I got on the stage before introducing the film, the faces of the people around, and you could tell they were already celebrating the chance just to be there, celebrating someone like Dolores, like Cesar, like being able to be part of this is a big thing.
Michael, can you talk about working with Diego as a director?
Yeah, I'm like, it's almost, it's way different than any other director that I've ever worked with. And I'm like, shooting in Mexico, I think it was really cool. We actually went golfing a couple times, and there was this guy, the caddy, Lupe, no?
Lupe se llamaba, yeah.
And in America, humble is kind of like in a negative connotation, like, oh, he's trying to be humble or this or that, you know what I mean? But this was like a society, like a group of people that actually did exist. This guy was as humble as can be, but like very smart and funny at the same time, and almost deadpan at delivery. And then I kept meeting more and more people in Hermosillo, Sonora, and I thought, wow, this is an amazing thing. And I'm glad that we shot it there because it was more towards the truth of how the kind of people that we actually dealt with was. My dad's kind of like that. He's a lot like that. He's like a very humble guy, and he's very soft-spoken. When I got the part of CESAR Chavez, I said, "Hey, Pa, I got the part of CESAR Chavez." 5 seconds, nothing. And he's like, "That one you, I don't." And then he hung up on me. And see, that's the kind of acknowledgement that, like, that this certain group, and thank God that CESAR Chavez fought for them. But that's You know, he was acknowledging them and acknowledging, you know, their life, and he, you know, really fought for them. And, you know, like my parents, I'm sure, like they were both farmers, like I'm sure that they both thanked him tremendously.
Open this up to questions from the audience. Please raise your hand and I will call on you. We want to try to get to as many people as possible. We'll start right here.
I was wondering if you've noticed ways in which your acting experience plays into being a director.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, he's super bossy.
Fulfilled your dream.
Definitely, it has. First of all, every day it has to look like you know what you want to do. You know what everyone should be doing, and that you have the answers. And many times you don't have a clue on where to go. I mean, red or green, it could be both, in fact. You know, but there's one day that it's all about decisions, and you have to be the one pretending to know. And that confidence, I had to use a lot of my acting skills many times when I knew things were going terrible, and you have to arrive in the morning saying, "Oh, we're so glad we're here. Let's another beautiful day at work." And I knew last night the checks bounced and the film might fall apart in a second, and you have to pretend everything is great. But then. You're using your acting skills, no? But then I have to say that I do see everything from the perspective of an actor. I think I am very aware of their process. If I respect something, is the chance to be surprised by those who are playing the parts, you know, because you know where you want to go and you know what you need. But then once you have that. Before having that, I don't allow anything to happen, you know, because I really need that whatever you dreamed with has to be there. But then there's time for actors to say, well, and what if we go this other way? And what if I say it this other way? And then magic starts to happen. And the great thing of having actors is being able to be surprised by them, you know. So I trust actors, and I think I was lucky to have these ones, no?
Right back here.
Sure. Michael, what did it feel like to take on the responsibility of a role like this, and what did you draw from to make it so real?
Well, at first I was like completely excited. Then I read the script and I was completely terrified. And it was actually, the more and more that I did research, in reality it was like kind of easier to do, because I'm like, he was a person that was just elected to do this thing. He wasn't like a natural born leader. It was just the necessity level was so high because these people were treated very badly, you know, and so he I thought that was really cool, that this was an unlikely hero, a reluctant hero, and then all of a sudden he just rose up because he had to. There's some people and politicians even now that they talk a good game and like they're very charismatic and that they don't do anything. And then this guy was the exact opposite. He did everything, and then try to take as little credit as possible. And I don't know. It definitely changed my viewpoint about things. I didn't know that it was this rough, to be honest with you. I'm like, you know, my parents came from Mexico, and you hear about it, but you don't really know about it until you like actually really do the research. And it was, you know, my hat goes off to him and Dolores, and I'm like, it was not an easy struggle. It was not an easy struggle. There was like a lot of nerves, and there was a lot of, you know, when your life, you think that it can end, you know, with one simple decision. I mean, that's life or death, you know. And these people were actually had the courage to actually go through with it and make other people's lives better, not just theirs.
I also want to apologize. I think I neglected to introduce Gabriel Mann is in between Michael and Rosario. I didn't mean to do that here.
This is Rosario Dawson.
Let's go.
Dolores Huerta.
Did you have one?
Yeah.
Okay, right.
My favorite question to ask is if there's any funny or clever or wild stories from the set that's behind the scenes when y'all are just kind of left out. Favorite funny stories or favorite mess ups or favorite embarrassing moments.
That might have even happened here.
Yeah, I'll tell you one. Just I got whispered by Dolores, and she's right, and we have to thank them. The Vasco family.
Oh my God!
You know, we shot in Mexico, and we were looking for a Filipino community all around our country, and we found like 14 and they were like 28 hours away in car, and not even in Mexico City. Most of them were in, it was Merida or Merida, I think. So it was so far. It's like saying, oh yeah, we have a community here in New York and you're shooting in LA, you know. It just made no sense. And Darion Vasco, who plays Larry Iliong, said, don't worry, I'll bring my family. And we said, well, but your family, that's going to be like 2 or 3. We need 10, 15 people to put in front of camera and make sure they're all Filipinos and we're accurate. And he says, oh, no, we're like 10, 15. Yeah.
And they all act and they're all performers.
And they're all actors.
Performers
And they,
super charismatic.
and they got in a van and they drove from Arizona to Hermosillo. And when they arrived, it was unbelievable. A few came with their golf clubs, you know, with shorts, like thinking they were going to Cancun or something. And they arrived to Hermosillo where we were shooting, and we were like, oh, I don't know if you're gonna be able to use that.
You know what I mean? Like, they really did.
But they're in every shot, you know. And then they came to do voices, you know, because there's a moment where you hear shouts and everything. And they came to the studio to do the voices. This is their film, you know. They made sure basically that the Filipino community celebrated on the film as they should, because also not many know, but they were the first ones to go on strike, you know.
Okay, let's go right here.
Hi, my name is Omar from Esmeralda, Dallas, Texas. And my question is, we know you are a Mexican citizen. How much did you learn about the Mexican American activist?
How much did I learn? I learned a lot, not just from him, but everyone around him, and I learned a lot from also those who care about the story today. You know, I think as communities we've been looking for every difference we have, everything that separates us, and that's very stupid. You know, I think we should look for those things that connect us, and we're very similar. And it's, you know, in Washington they gave me a number that I thought it was ridiculous. Just 2% of the business owned by Latinos in this country get to export to Latin America. That tells you how far away we are. It's ridiculous. We have to share our stories, learn from each other, celebrate each other. We're family. It just makes no sense that the Latino experience here, it's not celebrated in Latin America and the other way around, you know. So I learned a lot, and I learned I have to do something, and I cannot let that horrible and stupid wall that keeps growing to separate me from so many people I can learn from, you know, and I can relate and yeah.
Right here.
Yes. So, Mr. Luna, CESAR Chavez did so much throughout his lifetime. How did you pick the moments to put into your movie and just narrate all that information down into 1 hour and 20 minutes?
It was painful, and we edited for almost a year and a half, and I worked with 3 different editors. It was a long process. We have like another 3 hours waiting in a hard drive to be seen, hopefully by people in the DVD or something, or probably we'll edit another film and do it from another angle. But there's characters that their complete story is not part of the film, and it's sad. But that's how it is, you know. I hope this detonates that curiosity in people to go and find out who they really are, because also we did a film, and this comes from a specific point of view, you know. But then the amazing story of Dolores Huerta that she's still writing, it's there for you to go visit and investigate, and the movement it's very recent, so there's tons of film to watch, articles to read, pictures, there's memorials, there's, you know, I hope this is the beginning of something bigger that doesn't stay as a cinematic experience inside the theaters, you know. Yeah.
Let's go on the back. Yeah, right there.
Shooting a movie like this, where it is such a historical event, how as filmmakers do you pay homage and respect to what happened, but at the same time throw in your own kind of creativity and your twist or your interpretation of what happened? That fine line between reality and fiction.
Well, it's that's the main thing. That I guess that separates good film from bad films. You know, like I mean, it's all about listening. It's all about making sure you're gonna please people like Dolores, like the CESAR's family, like Helen, but without forgetting why you're there. You know, and you have to remember that first connection you had with the story. To me, this at the end, if I have to tell someone from a context far away from farm workers in this country, I will say, please watch this film because it's about a father and a son and the sacrifice a father has to do to bring better for his family and kids, you know, to change the life of his kids. It's just about that. And it's as simple as that, and I think that makes this film a universal film, and that makes it my film because I am thinking about my kids. And if I'm honest with that connects with me, then I'm gonna find an audience because the movement showed us you're not here alone. If something worries you, get out of your little bubble you've created and find who thinks like you. You're gonna find more than one, and then your voice has strength. You know, so same with filmmaking. If you're honest with that connects with you, and you don't try to please anyone but yourself, then you'll find an audience.
Okay, I'll go right here and then you next, right here. Yeah.
Oh, me?
Yes.
Oh, okay, sorry. How did John Malkovich get involved in this film?
The big dog.
He's a good friend. We met in a film festival, and they organized an amazing dinner for all the special guests, and the only two ones that showed up, it was him and I. So we sat down and talked for all night about theater, and Pablo was there, and Russell Smith, who's his partner, and we started talking about doing theater together. And he came to Mexico, directed a play I acted on, and since then we've been working. He produced the previous film, and with this one we couldn't use the actual name of the growers or the brands, obviously, because this press conference would be in jail if we would have. But the character of John Malkovich is based on a grower that in fact comes from where his grandparents come from. So we based everything on that person, and we created a role for him, and he was happy to come. And in a way, I thought it was very stupid to bring him at the end, because he showed us all the commitment and how rigorous an actor has to be to become that big. You know, the guy was there at the beginning, he didn't speak Spanish, for example. And he learned Spanish for this. He would be training all day, sitting in his chair, getting ready for it, and just reminded us that if you put that amount of work behind what you do, it pays off.